I'm Felicia,
And I'm Ian.
and we are the Paranormal Lovers.
Hello, paranormal dudes, dudettes, and dudays. Welcome back to another episode of the Paranormal Lovers.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us back here for another week, another episode. Episode 57.
Say, luckily our voices aren't crap.
Not as bad anyways. I'll get real snotty here in a minute.
We had the Rona.
Yeah, we had the Rona, and that has sucked ass.
Yeah, it's kind of been sucky.
I mean, it sucked for me. Like,
right.
I think I had every single damn symptom
that
I read off to you this morning. Every single symptom.
Every one of them.
It went in waves. Just waves of symptom after symptom after symptom for like 4 days.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, okay, this is like the first day I kind of feel
half decent
again. All right. What'd you love about this week, baby?
I love that I work for a company that let me stay home when I had COVID.
Yeah.
It's really nice of them to do that. They don't have to, but they would rather you stay home than like try to transmit COVID to the whole plant. So
yeah, because that plant, like, I don't know how many they have now, but I know like when I worked there was 400 employees in that place.
Yeah, there's a lot of us. So
and you do not want somebody in there with COVID.
No, because it'll just spread like wildfire.
Especially with this new variant JN1 or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, it's like a fast spreading variant. They think like 86% of cases of COVID right now are this particular variant. And I'm like, it is fast because it hit us. It burned through us in like 4 or 5 days.
The original COVID got 8 of us.
8?
Yeah, 8 people was the total.
What do you mean?
8 people died in the plant.
Oh, at ConMed. I mean, at that place that you work.
That place.
That you're not supposed to. You might need to put it like a beep or something in there, but
I can just cut it out.
Okay. Remember it somewhere in the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, 241, something like that.
I didn't know 8 people died of it.
Yeah, there was 8 total in the plant that I worked at.
And I mean, if you think about it, that's not an exorbitant amount, but
it kind of is though.
It's like 0.5% of the total workforce at ConMed.
Yeah.
Like that's
just a lot.
0.5% of the population of one place.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It is a lot. Like, that's wild.
Yeah. So I'm thankful that they let me stay home.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Felicia been kind of taking it easy and
been playing a lot of video games. You know me every day this week. My body's been like, nap.
Yeah.
Nap.
That's why I'm like, through it.
Kind of sleepy right now because this is about the time where I lay down every day.
Yeah. But we hope you guys are doing good and got a good episode for you this week. What did you love about this week, baby?
I loved having you home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've missed spending time with you, so it was nice to have you home.
Our thing was the same.
Yeah, pretty much. Did not love getting COVID.
No, I didn't either.
Didn't love it. Patty was home until like Tuesday, and I thought I was going to lose my ever-loving mind.
Yeah, our kid had no problem with it whatsoever.
No, she had like a low-grade fever the first day, a little bit the second day, took her to the doctor. She was fine. They did the test. They were like, yeah, she's got COVID. We're like, shit, great. So we're probably going to get it. By the next day, she's like, I want to go to the park. I want to go to the playground.
Yeah.
I want to go over here. I want to go see.
I want to go to the climbing gym.
I want to go do this. And I'm like, girl, we are contagious.
You can't.
Like, you cannot. I'm so sorry.
You can't go spread it to people.
And then I think she was bouncing off the walls all week. And then I think Monday, me and you tested. And it was like, we didn't even have to wait the 15 minutes. As soon as we put it in there and closed the test, it popped positive.
It was like, pink line.
Yeah. So, but
you're pregnant. No.
That's what I said. I was like, I haven't seen that positive test show up that fast since my pregnancy test. Like, wow. God. All right. We are, again, we know, but what do you got for us this week, babe?
This week we got episode 3 or part 3 of The Ghost of Blackbeard. Hopefully
Blackbeard.
this one will end it. You guys will find out at the end.
Sorry, guys.
But okay, where did we leave off? Where we left off was that Blackbeard had set up a meeting between Charles Vane, Israel Hands, Robert Deal, and Calico Jack. As news spread through the neighboring colonies, Teach and Van's impromptu party worried the governor of Pennsylvania. It worried him enough that he sent 2 sloops to capture the pirates. It's like, go get them. They're up to no good.
Shenanigans.
They were unsuccessful, but the governor of Virginia, Alexander Spotswood, was also concerned that the supposed retired freebooter and his crew were living nearby North Carolina. So the governor of Virginia was like, I'm worried too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can't have these pirates around, like, close to here.
Yeah, because it's not that far.
No, it's not. Some of Teach's former crew had already moved into several Virginia seaport towns, prompting Spotswood to issue a proclamation on July 10th, requiring all former pirates to make themselves known to the authorities.
Okay, sure. I'll get right on that.
Like any of them were going to give themselves up. Like,
Yes, I am a pirate.
like, come get me.
I'm a pirate. I have maraudered and pillaged.
I killed 20,000 people. Except Blackbeard. Blackbeard was like sponsoring that shit.
I bet.
Like, he was like, I am ruthless. Don't fuck with me.
And again, like we said last week, it probably wasn't even him doing anything. He just had one hell of a crew.
Yep.
To back him up. So people were like, oh shit, it's teaching his men.
He got a reputation.
He did get a reputation.
Like, he made sure that people knew of his reputation.
Mm-hmm.
But they were ordered, so the pirates that were, ordered to turn themselves in or whatever, they were ordered to give up their arms and not to travel in groups larger than 3. So I guess that's why you always see like groups of 3 pirates like hanging out in town.
I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense.
As a head of a crown colony, Spotswood viewed the proprietary colony of North Carolina with contempt. He had little faith in the ability of the Carolinians to control the pirates, who he suspected would be back to their old ways, disrupting Virginia commerce as soon as their money ran out. Spotswood heard of a rumor that William Howard, the former quartermaster of Queen Anne's Revenge, was in the area, and believing that he might know the whereabouts of Captain Teach, he had William and his 2 slaves arrested. Spotswood had no legal authority to have the pirates tried, and as a result, Howard's attorney, John Holloway, brought charges against Captain Bran of the HMS Limey, where Howard was imprisoned. He also sued on Howard's behalf for damages of £500,
That's a lot.
claiming wrongful arrest. I bet pirate lawyers made a killing.
Literally and figuratively, I bet.
Get it? Killing.
You're such a dork.
Spotswood's counsel claimed that under a statute of William III, the governor was entitled to try pirates without a jury in times of crisis, and that Teach's presence was a crisis. I could see that.
I could see that, yeah.
I bet them colonies were shaking in their booties.
You'll see what I have to deal with over here. This kind of shit all the time.
Oh no, where did my notes go?
And then you get Patty trying to make farty booty pooty noises, jokes, and it's just y'all help. Send help. Send cannabis.
The charges against Howard referred to several acts of piracy supposedly committed after the pardon's cutoff date in quote unquote a sloop belonging to ye subjects of the King of Spain,
Oh no.
but ignored the fact that they took place outside of Spotswood's jurisdiction and in a vessel that was illegally owned.
Yeah.
Another charge cited two attacks, one of which was the capture of a slave ship off Charlestown Bar, from which one of Howard's slaves presumed to have come. Howard was sent to await trial before a court of vice admiralty on the charge of piracy. But Brand and his colleague, Captain Gordon of the HMS Pearl, refused to serve with Holloway present.
Question. Dude was a pirate, right?
Yeah.
So was the enslaved people, were they actually enslaved people? Or were they just his crew?
I don't
And
know,
then they
probably just
were
his crew.
recaptured once they arrested him and sent back into slavery.
Probably.
Horse shit.
Yeah, I mean they were probably just the part of the crew.
Y'all, it's February 1st when we're recording this, Black History Month. So if you get tired of my bullshit, this ain't the place for you this month. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, I mean it said two slaves. So if you think about it, it was Holloway and two slaves, and it was after that they ordered them to like, travel in groups of three. So that was the three pirates right there.
Also, please call them enslaved people.
Right.
Not slaves. We were enslaved.
Sure.
Damn it.
So incensed, Holloway had no option but to stand down and was replaced by the Attorney General of Virginia, John Clayton, whom Spotswood described as, quote unquote, an honester man than Holloway.
An honester man?
An honester man.
You sure he ain't from the Western North Carolina?
He might be.
Although honestly, like the accent, it's so different between here and the East Coast.
For sure.
But I don't know if you remember, like when we went and visited my uncle, the way they talk over there on the like they're way east, and like
there's similarities.
It's similar. It's still country.
Yeah.
But like theirs is a little more ghetto.
Kinda, yeah.
It's like ghetto country.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is like the one up here is like, yeah, it's like redneck country.
Yeah.
It's the dialect's a little different.
Sure.
It's cool though.
Howard was found guilty and sentenced to be hanged, but was saved by a commission from London, which directed Spotswood to pardon all acts of piracy committed by surrendering pirates before August 18th, 1718. Spotswood had won his prize, though, and obtained valuable information about Teach's whereabouts. Oh, is that the cat?
I think it is. I was like, is that you? Is that a cat at the door? What's going on?
So he gathered up his forces and planned to send them across the border into North Carolina to capture Teach. He gained the support of two men keen to discredit North Carolina's Governor Edward Moseley and Colonel Maurice Moore. He also wrote to the Lords of Trade suggesting that the crown might benefit financially from Teach's capture. He's like, hey, King, like, do you want to make some money capturing Teach?
I mean, maybe, but good luck.
Right.
Good luck.
Spotswood personally financed the operation, possibly believing that Teach had fabulous treasures hidden away.
I think every pirate has fabulous treasures hidden away. He's like, it's rum. It's barrels upon barrel. Wine.
Right.
It's just wine. Barrels and barrels of wine. Okay. That's it.
So he ordered Captain Gordon and Brand of HMS Pearl and the HMS Limey to travel overland to Bath. So he like set them out overland instead of sea. Lieutenant Robert Maynard of the HMS Pearl was given command of two commandered sloops to approach the town from the sea. So he was trying to trap him in from
Mm-hmm.
the land and the sea. An extra incentive for Teach's capture was the offer of a reward from the Assembly of Virginia, over and above any that might be received from the crown. So you got the crown's reward
And the state of Virginia.
and the state of Virginia or colony or whatever. Uh, Maynard took command of the two armed sloops on November 17th. He was given 57 men, 33 from the HMS Pearl and 24 from the HMS Limey. Maynard and the detachment from the HMS Pearl took the larger of the two vessels and named her the Jane. The rest took the Ranger, commanded by one of Maynard's officers, a Mr. Hyde.
Oh, where's Jekyll?
Right.
Also, the HMS Jane. What was that boat's name? Ship's name?
The Jane.
The Jane.
Yeah. Or just Jane.
I bet they never in a million years imagined somebody would hear the name of their ship and that person would think of Jane Risolti.
Right.
Because, like, oh shit.
Yeah. Some from the two ships' civilian crews remained aboard. So there were civilians on the ship too. They sailed from Key. I've never heard of this place. Key Cofton. It's Kecoughtan.
Uh-huh.
Key Cofton.
Sure.
Now I have heard of the James River. So they came along the James River on November 17th. The two sloops moved slowly, giving Brand's force time to reach Bath. Brand set out for North Carolina 6 days later. So I don't know why he waited, but he waited.
Yeah, why would they not send him out first and then send the people in the boats to ships or whatever?
Sure. But he arrived within 3 miles of Bath on November 23rd. Including in Brand's force were several North Carolinians, including Colonel Moore and Captain Jeremiah Vale, sent to counter any local objection to the presence of foreign soldiers. Because, I'm sure the people in North Carolina were like, we don't care if he's here. Like,
pretty much.
come on down.
Like, the Outer Banks was a place that was just wild back in the day.
So they had to send in soldiers to, like, tell people, hey, this is what we're doing here.
And yeah, like, there's like the North and the South and everything, but like you still don't want those assholes up there coming down.
Right.
Even if it is Virginia.
Yeah. So Moore went into town to see if Teach was there, reported back that he was not, but that he expected at quote unquote every minute or any minute.
He was expected any minute.
Any minute. Brand then went to Governor Eden's home and informed him of his purpose. The next day, Brand sent 2 canoes down Pamlico River to Ocracoke Inlet to see if Teach could be seen. They returned 2 days later and reported on what eventually transpired. This was the beginning of the end for Teach. Maynard found the pirates anchored on the inner side of Ocracoke Island on the evening of November 21st. He had ascertained their position from ships he had stopped along his journey, but being unfamiliar with the local channels and shoals, he decided to wait until the following morning to make his attack.
Smart.
He stopped all traffic from entering the inlet, preventing any warning of his presence, and posted a lookout on both sloops to ensure that Teach could not escape to sea. On the other side of the island, Teach was busy entertaining guests and had not set a lookout. with Israel hands ashore in Bath with about 24 of Adventure's sailors. He also had a much reduced crew,
Hmm.
so it was like a skeleton crew on his ship.
That's what happens. You get comfortable and you get complacent,
Yep.
and then you don't think to leave a lookout when you only have half of your damn crew with you.
Yep.
Man, I could have taught you some shit, Blackbeard.
Johnson of 1724 reported Teach had, quote unquote, no more than 25 men aboard, and that he, quote unquote, gave out to all the vessels that he spoke with that he had 40. So he was telling people he had 40, even though he only had
Yeah.
25, which is, that's Blackbeard. He was,
Well, I mean, duh. Like, of course, you're going to tell them you have more people on board than you actually do.
that way people will get nervous about attacking you.
Exactly. They're like, oh, I don't know. He's got a bunch of people on there. And it's like, no, he has like 12. Okay, you're fine.
Also, quote unquote, 13 white and 6 N words was the number later reported by Brand to the sea to the Admiralty. At daybreak, preceded by a small boat taking soundings, which is measuring the depth of the sea, Maynard's 2 sloops entered the channel. The small craft was quickly spotted by the Adventure and fired at as soon as it was within range of her guns.
Mm-hmm.
So they seen the small boat and was like, kill him.
Yeah.
While the boat made a quick retreat to the Jane, Teach cut the Adventurer's anchor cable. So he's to arms.
Gotcha.
His crew hoisted the sails, and the Adventure maneuvered to point her starboard guns toward Maynard's sloops, which were slowly closing the gap. Hyde moved the Ranger to the port side of the Jane, and the Union flag was unfurled on each ship. So it was about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Adventure then turned toward the beach of Ocracoke Island, headed for a narrow channel, so they went to escape. What happened next was uncertain. Johnston claimed that there was an exchange of small arms fire, followed which Adventure ran aground on a sandbar. So they hit a sandbar.
Yeah, we know how that shit shifts down there.
Yeah, they hit one right as they were trying to escape. And Maynard anchored and then lightened his ship to pass over the obstacle. So Maynard seen, that Blackbeard was stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So he anchored up, started throwing everything overboard
Yeah.
so he could lighten it to get over the sandbar. And then another version, that was one of the versions of, what had happened. But another version said that the Jane and the Ranger ran aground,
Mm.
although Maynard made no mention of this in his captain's log. Stardate.
I was just thinking too, like my dumbass, I wanted to be a history teacher. You can see why I'm not. But like, yeah, back then Virginia was a part of the Union and North
Yep.
Carolina was a part of the Confederacy, or
Yep.
what would end up being the Confederacy. Because I talked about it when
So
I
they
did
hated each other.
the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Yep.
Virginia ended up ceding and joining the Confederacy later. So yeah, I can imagine before the Civil War, like if these Union soldiers got caught in North Carolina, they'd be dead.
Yep. The Adventure eventually turned her guns on the 2 ships and fired. The broadside was devastating. In an instant, Maynard lost as much as a third of his forces.
Ouch.
About 20 on the Jane were either wounded or killed, and 9 on the Ranger. Hyde was dead, and his second and third officers either dead or seriously injured. His sloop was so badly damaged that it played no further role in the attack.
Mm.
Contemporary accounts of what happened next are confused, but small arms fire from Jane may have cut Adventure's jib sheet, causing her to lose control and run onto the sandbar. So just a a bullet from a flintlock cut the sheets.
Yeah, friendly fire at that.
Yeah,
Possibly.
it might. Yeah, I mean, maybe. In the aftermath of Teach's overwhelming attack, Jane and the ranger may have also been grounded. So they were both run aground, just kind of sitting there. The battle would have become a race to see who could float their ship first. So they were trying to get it, unstuck.
Yeah.
Maynard had kept many of his men below deck, which was smart, and in anticipation of being boarded, told them to prepare for close fighting. Teach watched as the gap between the vessels closed and ordered his men to be ready. Crap, every time I move, I lose my place.
Love it.
Yeah. The two vessels contacted one another as the adventurers' grappling hooks hit the target, and several grenades made from powder and shot filled bottles and ignited by fuses broke across the sloop's deck. As the smoke cleared, Teach led his men aboard. Buoyant at the sight of Maynard's apparently empty ship, his men firing at the small group of men with Maynard at the stern. The rest of Maynard's men then burst from the hold, shouting and firing. The plan to surprise Teach and his crew worked. The pirates were apparently taken aback at the assault. Teach rallied his men, and the two groups fought across the deck, which was already slick with blood from those killed or injured by Teach's broadside.
They Trojan horsed him.
Yeah. Maynard and Teach fired their flintlocks at each other. Maynard managed to hit Teach, while Teach missed Maynard. Both then threw their flintlocks away and drew their cutlasses. Teach broke Maynard's cutlass at the hilt. Against superior training and a slight advantage in numbers, the pirates were pushed back toward the bow, allowing the Jane's crew to surround Maynard and Teach, who was by then completely isolated. Teach pressed onward and was about to deliver a killing blow, but was slashed across the neck by one of Maynard's men. This redirected Teach's cutlass to strike Maynard in his knuckles instead of killing him. Badly wounded, Teach was then attacked and killed by several more of Maynard's crew. The remaining pirates quickly surrendered. Those left on the adventure were captured by the Ranger's crew, including one who planned to set fire to the powder room and blow up the ship. So one guy was like, I'm not going down. I'm going down with the ship. I'm going to blow it up.
If we're going down, we're all going down.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you down with me.
Varying accounts exist of the battle's list of casualties. Maynard reported that 8 of his men and 12 pirates were killed. Bran reported that 10 pirates and 11 of Maynard's men were killed. Spotswood claimed 10 pirates and 10 of the king's men were dead. Maynard later examined Teach's body, noticing that he had been shot 5 times and cut about 20.
Jeez.
Yeah, so he wasn't...
He's a strong man.
Yeah, he's fighting for dear end.
It was all that damn wine, he didn't feel anything.
Right. He also found several items of correspondence, including a letter from Tobias Knight. Teach's corpse was thrown into the inlet, and his head was suspended from the bowsprit of Maynard's sloop, so that the reward could be collected. So he's bringing it back for for proof.
It's just fucking demented, though.
Right? Yeah, to display it like that. On their return to Virginia, Teach's head was placed on a pole at the entrance to the Chesapeake Bay as a warning to other pirates and a greeting to other ships, and it stood there for several years. Tales of the most famous pirate to date have been told for centuries. Blackbeard and his story has inspired many works of literature and even theme park rides. Many people think that Blackbeard had a massive hoard of wealth hidden somewhere on an island, but the only pirate that was known to bury treasure like that was William Kidd.
Mm,
Burying treasure mostly went against the pirate code.
yeah.
Splitting, they like to split shares of the booty to all the pirates on their ship. A lot of Blackbeard's exploits went to the bottom of the ocean whenever his ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, sank. Uh, it was found in 1996, and as of 2009, over 250,000 artifacts have been recovered from
Damn.
that shipwreck.
Yeah, I mean, if there was any treasure, it's going to be there.
Yeah. A selection of these artifacts are on display for the public in North Carolina Maritime Museum. Various superstitions or various superstitious tales exist of Teach's ghost. There's unexplained lights at sea, and often they're often referred to as Teach's lights or Teach's light. And some recitals claim that the notorious pirate now roams the afterlife searching for his head for fear that his friends and the devil will not recognize him now.
So wait, instead of a headless horseman, we have a headless pirate?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking A, man.
A Carolinian tale holds that Teach's skull was used as a basis for a silver drinking chalice. A local judge even claimed to have drunk from it one night in the 1930s. I think you might have said something about that on the skulls. Didn't they have like a silver chalice that they drank from?
Are you talking about like Skull and Bones?
Yeah,
Um,
I want to say
they may have had a chalice, but they had bones
right.
because they claim to have had Geronimo's bones.
That's what I'm saying. It's Blackbeard's
Yeah.
skull.
I mean, they
So-
may have claimed to have had Blackbeard's skull, but
Maybe. But ever since his demise, it's been said that Blackbeard's ghosts haunts these waters. Many people have reported seeing a strange light moving beneath the surface of the water in the cove off of Ocracoke. This ghostly light is thought to be This ghostly light is thought by some to be Blackbeard's spirit swimming through the water, searching for his head.
it's aliens.
There are those who believe on stormy nights that you can hear Blackbeard's voice calling out in the wind. On nights when the angry ocean wind is roaring and rain is coming down in buckets, that sounds like that a horrible roaring can be heard coming from this hidden cove. They say it's like an unearthly noise that sounds like a human in agony, bellowing, "Where's my head?"
Oh no, man! I hope you find it though. Also, you're like painting a real pretty picture with like the waves crashing and the rain coming down in buckets, and like it sounds fucking beautiful, and I want to go.
The lights of Blackbeard's ghost has been seen in other places as well. The the Bonner family, who lived in a house across from Blackbeard's home at Plum's Point, say on stormy nights they could see a ball of fire as big as or bigger than a man's head could be seen sailing back and forth between Plum's Point and Archbell Point all night.
Hmm.
Another legend is that when Captain Maynard threw Teach's body from the ship off of Ocracoke, that the body swam 3 times around Maynard's ship before sinking below the surface.
That don't sound good. Sounds like some cursing shit.
Islanders who were brave enough to venture out to the point or to Teach's Hole after dark have routinely reported encountering the ghost of Blackbeard himself pacing along the shoreline, lost in agony, presuming still looking for his head.
Does anybody know where his head is?
I don't know.
Nobody knows where we just
I don't
losing
think
heads
so.
and shit. Oh, fucking A.
In all these stories, Blackbeard has mostly been portrayed as ruthless and brutal. But with all respects, the history was written by the winners.
Mm,
All in all, I don't think Blackbeard was a bad guy.
I don't think he was.
He wanted everyone to believe he was a bad guy, and they would like surrender to him without a fight. But in all accounts, there was never really one where Blackbeard killed anyone,
Right.
except in the last battle. Uh, almost. Also, most of the pirates back then were stealing from the governments
Mm-hmm.
and giving to the people, kind of like
Which,
old
like, valid.
old Robin Hood story, you know.
Yeah, valid.
Plus, most ships they stole were slave ships,
Yeah.
and or enslaved people's ships, and a lot of times they would free the enslaved people in those said ships, and the men or they would free the guys that didn't want to join them.
Yeah.
Heck, even Blackbeard's number one in command was an African man known only as Black Caesar.
I love that name.
Right.
Black Caesar. It's just like, oh,
That was his number one, or that was his number one.
Black Caesar. Ugh.
While pirates killed and plundered, they were mostly doing this to other people that killed and plundered. So if y'all want to know more about Blackbeard, come check out the places I mentioned. There's spots all along the East Coast that are, named after him.
Listen, you'll have to fly into Norfolk, rent you a car, and then you can drive. It's an hour and a half from Norfolk to Nag's Head, I believe. You can drive down. You can drive. It's 200 miles down the Outer Banks. It's beautiful. It's fun. You get to see like where the alleged first in flight place took place.
Yeah.
You can see Blackbeard shit.
You can go to Teach's Hole.
You can go swimming.
You can
go fishing.
Scuba dive by the Queen Anne Revenge shipwreck.
Oh yeah, but you can go scuba diving out there in the graveyard of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
I bet that's spooky.
I bet it is.
Oh, I don't like the thought of that.
Come take the pirate walk for yourself.
Yes. All right, is that it?
And that's it. As always, guys, we love you.
Yes, thank you for that, Bill. 3 weeks of Blackbeard.
There's some spooky stuff going on with him.
It is. And I mean, yeah, I can imagine like when someone chops your head off, throws your body in the ocean, and then just like has your head hanging out on a stick for years.
The museum that I mentioned that's got all this stuff it's not open until this year.
Oh, so okay.
This year they're going to be opening up because they've just been getting everything ready to like let people see it.
Yeah.
So
shit, I'm just throwing shit around.
Hopefully the grand opening this year will go good. And
I hope it does too. We should go down there.
See some of Blackbeard's merch.
That was Blackbeard's merch. If you'd like to see Blackbeard's merch. No, I know that's the one trip that I'm willing to go with your parents. Again, your mom's never been to the Outer Banks.
Right.
And that was something we talked about for a long time, taking her down there. So that would be cool to go see.
Maybe we can go to Teach's Hole.
Be like, picture this, drunk as shit on a pirate ship. Sorry. Pirates make me think of dirty heads. What can I say?
Right.
It's your fault. All right, guys, we appreciate you joining us. If you would like, head on over to Instagram and follow us at The Paranormal Lovers. You can also search for that on YouTube to watch our videos. Hi. Head on over to theparanormallovers.threadless.com. Our last sale is over with, but we have another sale coming up in like a week and a half, so y'all just hold your britches. It's fine. There's something else. I'm forgetting something. Oh, send us an email at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com with I don't know, just to say hi, a topic request, a personal story.
Let us know if you've seen Blackbeard.
I mean, have you seen a pirate at all? Like, have
Let
you
us know
seen
if
a
you've
ghost
seen any
ship?
of them.
Like, let us know. That's some pretty cool shit.
Where's William Kidd's treasure?
Yeah. Be good to
I'll have to
know.
look up that guy.
Right. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us this week. And as always, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.